Wife was fired today for discussing wages at work. Update.
Previous post here. https
www.reddit.com/r/antiwork/comments/tzh8kw/wife was fired today for discussing wages at work.
This is an update to the post I made about 3 months ago, which you can read about in the link above. After my wife was fired, we immediately filed a wrongful termination claim with our state's L&I Department of Labor and Industries. Also, we sent a letter to the employer asking for the exact reason for termination, which is required for employers to provide within 10 business days of receiving notice. The letter we got back was 2 entire sentences, and the only reason they provided was, she was not a good fit, with no other elaboration. My guess is this isn't sufficient to meet the requirements of notification under the state law. Otherwise, the law is completely pointless. However, I haven't looked too deeply into that yet. After we made the claim to L&I, the employer had an attorney write up a statement full of lies and falsehoods, where they tried to claim to L&I that my wife was let go for a different reason. The employer must have recovered from amnesia after their previous letter to us saying, she was not a good fit, because in the letter to L&I they seem to have finally remembered a reason why she was let go. However, their story did not add up, and we were able to explain this to the L&I caseworker in a point-by-point summary of the facts. The coworker, who had quit shortly after the incident, was able to repudiate a number of the points in their story, not the least of which was definitive proof that she was being paid below minimum wage. The employer tried to claim that the payroll company was at fault for the wage issue, which was pretty infuriating considering the coworker had explicitly asked for a raise months after the minimum wage hike and was told no. The coworker was also not being given sick leave pay, another requirement by the state, but I guess the payroll company must have messed that up too. It seems like the L&I caseworker didn't buy their BS either, because a few days ago we were notified that they concluded the former employer was in violation of the state's wage discussion and retaliation laws. The next step is to see if we can come to an agreement on how to resolve this matter before legal action, which would be preferable. We did not do this for money, but employers need to be held accountable for their actions, so we are going to seek compensation. My wife has been a bit hesitant because she felt humiliated by the entire situation and doesn't want to be in the same room as her former boss. But if people don't stand up for themselves, then nothing will ever change. Doing it for the money is a good enough reason. Don't feel bad about getting anything. Your labor shouldn't be unpaid by an employer, and they violated the law. Good for you guys. And you're right. They can only get away with doing these things if no one holds them accountable. It's an unfortunate truth that companies feel it most when they're hit in the wallet. If y'all still don't want the compensation to be financial, that's fine. Just be sure to get your pound of flesh to make sure they don't screw over anyone else like this. I 100% get the "not in it for money" part. That said, if they're doing it to your wife, I will guarantee you that they're doing it to other people as well. If you hit them for a small amount, it will be like one of us getting pulled over and handed a parking ticket for $5 or $10. Companies, especially the largest they get, don't pay attention unless any damage they take is significantly onerous to make them actually change what they're doing. That's why so many companies are so concerned with GDPR. Ultimately, it's y'all's decision, and I'm just putting my 2 cents in. All of that aside, I hope everything works out for the both of you. I'd start the negotiations at a minimum of 1 year salary at an appropriate wage for the position. Throw in words like mental anguish, financial hardship, etc., and ask them to prepare a sterling letter of recommendation that you can submit as a reference to a future employer. Once she has recovered from the mental distress caused by their inappropriate retaliatory actions. Throw in any other words you wish, and I'd also recommend she stays therapy, which will solidify the mental anguish claim. Whether you did it for the money or not, the only way that they won't immediately do it again to someone else is if it costs them money. Take them for everything you can, if only to protect the next person. Making them pay money is the only language they know and understand. Did she request her employee file? Not just the reason for termination, but the file that the company keeps with all of your information. When COVID was just starting and I was able to voluntarily quarantine, all the automakers were shut down, so we were just sweeping floors every day. They didn't want to give my job back after a couple weeks. After a back and forth with HR, they offered a lower paying position instead of my previous department. I requested a copy of my employee file and within the hour had a call from HR saying they could get me back into my department. C-suite people use the humiliation to protect themselves. They make people feel so small they will not stand up to them. Do not let them do that to your wife. Stand tall and proud that you have a backbone and don't just take advantage of people for personal gain like they do. A part of the resolution could also be that your wife's former employer be required to inform and educate their present employees about what they had done wrong and what the employees' rights are in those situations. My wife has been a bit hesitant because she felt humiliated by the entire situation and doesn't want to be in the same room as her former boss. I understand her point of view, but please let her know that we, the working class of this sub, think she is a fucking hero. It takes so much courage to fight these bastards because of all the what ifs. But just like you said, if people don't fight back, we all lose. I'm glad you are pursuing this. Please continue updating us. Also, my best wishes for your wife. I hope she has found work elsewhere in a better environment. Often the only apology a complainant ever receives is monetary. So make it as hefty as you can. The employer needs to feel the hurt, so it's a deterrent for future bad acts. Rape victims are not at fault. Your wife is a victim in this sordid tale. She should hold her head up as a hero for making justice happen. They only understand money. Make them pay and do so proudly. This is the only way change will happen. They do this BS for the money, so why are wronged workers always so quick to martyr themselves in say not doing it for the money? It's work. It's about the money. Look, the way I see it is that you may not be in it for the money. The company definitely is though. Hit M where it hurts. Especially when you're so clearly in the right. Good luck op. Yes, you are in it for the money. That's why you have a job. Employers are supposed to pay legal wages. If they cheat you out of money, the appropriate remedy is that they pay you even more money. When the only thing they value is money, the only way to punish them is by taking some of it away. Congrats. Doesn't matter if you didn't do it for money. Take all the money you can from them. Put them under. They don't deserve to run a business.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.